deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Fifth Street Sports, folks. This is Frank Perez, and I'm joined with Florida Rick today. You know, we are on the Sports Byline USA Radio Network, American Forces. We're also, you can catch us on iHeart, YouTube, Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports, and also on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. Rick, let's see what we had yesterday. Let's recap the 4 games. I think we lose with Portland, which I told them that, when you sent in +7, it was really 5. That was a little typo. We lose that one. And we lose the, I know we hit Northwestern, and I know we hit
Kansas State.
We lose with
Butler. We had Butler.
Villanova. You know, I was almost going to override you on that one, but I said, well, what the hell do I know? I kind of liked Villanova until you came in with Butler, but no big deal. So we go 2-2 yesterday. I think maybe in like the middle-ish of the second segment, we can go through the whole NBA board and college board, sort of like we did last week. But
sure.
How's it going out there for you in Florida?
Yeah, no, it's good. We had a couple cool days, and that was pretty much our winter. So, we're back into summertime weather, and probably will be for the next 10 months. So that'll be exciting. What's funny, going back to those games yesterday, I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but last night, maybe like around 5:30, 6:30 Eastern, I started, just looking at some of these sharp accounts, and sure enough, all these plays that I gave out yesterday, we gave out, were being played by all the sharp accounts. And I don't know if they're listening to our show, if they just happened to, match, but it was really coincidental that all the same plays were being played, and they started getting hammered. And then again, they only went 2-2, so I'm not saying it was a great day at all, but I'm starting to see sharp accounts line up, and really line up on every game. So it's a good start,
Well, maybe Rick, you're getting good enough to start moving lines. Maybe they're watching your show and starting to play your stuff. But you know what? This is our first little early segment. So, folks, we got the music going on. We got to take a time out. Fifth Street Sports will be back in just 3 minutes. We got I think I would consider a very good show ready for you today.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. That's 800-957-6063. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
All right, folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Florida Rick. We're on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, the American Forces. You guys, thank you on the American Forces. Appreciate you guys extra. iHeartRadio, thank you. We're all over the place there. And YouTube streaming, also Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Anyways, Rick, I got some interesting stuff I wanted to talk to you about. One of our residents at Fifth Street, Las Vegas, Chris, sent me a really semi-disturbing fact to me, even though I'm happy this year with the all-star voting, because I've always, my man Edgar Martinez actually made it, because I believe if he didn't make it, they should just tell players that if you're a DH, you're not eligible for the Hall of Fame, but he's in. But a disturbing fact for me, now tell me if this doesn't bother you. Okay, Mariano Rivera, great player, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, gets 100% of the vote, the first unanimous player in there. How is it possible that Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, Nolan Ryan, George Brett, Ty Cobb, none of these guys got 100%, yet Mariano gets 100% voting in this, and Babe Ruth and them do not? How's that possible?
Well, my take on this is that Mariano Rivera, by all means, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. He should be a unanimous selection. It's obvious he should be. He's a great closer for, 20 years or so, was a setup man before that. Always carried himself, with class and dignity, and just a great all-around person, as well as philanthropist and, of course, a pitcher. But then you look at what you're saying is these all-time greats didn't make it in. And of all the people you're mentioning, and you're right, the Babe Ruths, the Lou Gehrig's, the Ty Cobbs, the Ted Williams, the Willie Mays, all Mickey Mantles, all these Joe DiMaggios, all these incredible players of the past. And then you look at when they were inducted into the Hall of Fame, and you're talking about, anywhere from the late 30s until the 70s or the late 70s. All these players had something against them for at least a few sports writers. In the case of, say, like Babe Ruth, yeah, he was of course a great player, but some people didn't like the fact that back in the day that he was an alcoholic. All these old style, not necessarily, he's always drinking, considered a possible womanizer, and they would always look at any little negative things they had against them. And then you look like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. I guess they weren't as friendly with the press as the press would want them to be. So they'd always deduct points there. Then you'd look at like Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and of course, there's going to be some people that didn't like the fact they were black, and they didn't like blacks getting, playing baseball with the major leaguers. So, Ty Cobb, obviously he had his faults as well, being, coming from the South in the early 1900s. And so, but nowadays, I think that's been replaced with, were you on steroids? Did you possibly do steroids in your career? So the fact that Mario Rivera was clean for, 20, 25 years, never had an issue, and all these other great players he was going against were always on steroids. That helps him even that much more, become a unanimous selection. And like I said, I wholeheartedly agree with him being unanimous selection. But yeah, a lot of these players back in the day should have been unanimous selections as well. And I don't really know the next time we're going to see unanimous selection. What's it going to take? Because you're going to have to not be just one of the greatest baseball players at your position, but you're also going to have to be someone with as clean a record as possible. You're going to be media friendly. You're going to have to never have one negative connotation on your entire career, and that goes, personally and professionally. So yeah, I was looking like a list today. I can't think of one person upcoming in the future that might be a unanimous selection. So, well, actually, as I'm just saying that, Derek Jeter may be the next one, actually. So aside from Derek Jeter, I don't know of anyone else, but he may fall in that category too.
You know what? Rick, okay, we always say, okay, now this year, there was 425 writers. Let's say in the day when Ruth was eligible, or they were taking the voting for him, Babe Ruth, okay? Here's a guy, 714 home runs, broke every batting record. Even as a pitcher, he led the league in homers. When he pitched, one season when he pitched, he led the league in homers. He had 102 wins, 96 wins, 40-something losses, had a great ERA as a pitcher and everything. Now, when they say like 96%, 95%, like what does that mean? That means that there was actually a ballot form in front of all these human beings, and actually like 17 or 18 of these guys, when it said, should Babe Ruth be in the Hall of Fame, 17 human beings actually said, no. Like, I would look at these guys and say, what are you kidding me? Or Ty Cobb, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, 9 guys, 18 guys, 27 guys actually said no. And what about with like the black players, how badly they were discriminated against? Let's say that there was a great player. Let's say Hank Aaron he probably did have the same characteristics as Mariano Rivera, great human, good guy, all over, never got drunk, no steroids, no nothing. And somebody said, okay, and it's on your desk, you're a writer, and you say Hank Aaron, you go, no. Would they have had the balls to say, why? Why no? Would they actually have come out and said, oh, because he was black? Because he was black?
No.
I mean, why? Because he only hit 750-something home runs. Was a great all-around human being. And, I mean, just nothing negative for baseball. How could you actually say no? Even if it was, it's
unfathomable that they had any writers on their first ballot.
Yeah.
Some of these guys say no. And I'm looking at the other guys in the major leagues who had at least 98% of ballots, approved to go to the Hall of Fame. And Rivera was first. Ken Griffey Jr. was second at 99.3%. Tom Seaver and Nolan Ryan were tied for third at 98.8%. Cal Ripken at 98.5%. Surprisingly, Ty Cobb was actually sixth at 98.2%. Just with all the things he had against him, and but I guess that didn't matter as much back in the day as it would today. And then George Brett also at 98.2%. Those are the 7 guys that had 98% or more. And then right after them falls Hank Aaron. So I guess he came in at 97.8%. And then there's Babe Ruth at 95.1%, Willie Mays 94.7%. Williams 93.4%. And Williams was strictly because he didn't like talking to the media. So because of that, you had 6 or 7 out of every 100 writers were like, well, he didn't like talking to us, so I don't care that he was that he last hit 400 and he batted whatever 340 for his career, had 511 home runs. It doesn't matter because he didn't like talking to us, so I'm going to leave him off my ballot.
Yeah, that's crap. I think you know what they should do right now? They should take these 425 writers and say, listen, we're going to take 2 weeks, but we're going to go through all of baseball, and let's just start all over. Here's the stats on Babe Ruth, and see how many of these 425 guys would, let's say let's have a revote. We'll just turn in your stats to all the players. I'll bet you a lot of these guys that are in would get much higher percentages because Ruth, Mays, Mantle, Garrett, Cobb, they would all be 100%. You know what I mean? They would all, with these stats, they'd all be 100%. But I'll bet you that there's some guys right now that actually squeaked in that would probably might get under the 75, under the minimum. That should, because there's a lot of guys that should not be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? I mean,
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, or like Brian and I have talked that there should be a varsity Hall of Fame and a junior varsity Hall of Fame. You know, like like you would have a junior varsity, you would have like Roger Maris, you'd have these guys that hit like 380 homers and hit 288 and drove in 1,400 runs, stuff. Like a JV Hall of Fame. But there's some guys that are in the Hall of Fame, and you say, wow, that's the same room as Cobb and Ruth and Mantle and Gibson, all these guys. I say, they're not even kind of close to those guys, yet they got the same jacket. They're wearing the same jacket. So the Hall of Fame to me in baseball is such political crap, especially if some of these guys, I would like to really corner some of these guys and say, did you really not vote for this guy because he's black? Really? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that would obviously be common back in the 50s, 60s, and so forth. When today it would never be the case. But you know what I love. I don't know if you remember this. Brian had an idea. He's talked to me about it for years. But I think he mentioned the show a few months ago. Remember, I was going to say the steroid Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that would be a great Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
we should have incredible players in there.
We should have the steroids Hall of Fame. But Rick, there's the music, buddy. That means we got to take time for a break. It's Fifth Street Sports. Back in just 3 minutes, folks.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com, that's MYEVOZ.com, to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
All right, folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports. I was just doing a little research, and I was talking, I've talked to, Rick, you got to always be careful on some of these voting things. Like, for instance, you got to know sometimes the criteria or what they mean. Did you know, now Rick, have you ever seen when you're going to a movie, you and your girlfriend or your buddies, and you see a thing that says, I got 83% approval, got 92, or, got a 20. Now, I always used to think and I'm probably one of the real stupid ones, I always used to think that like, oh, this movie got an 83. Like 83 was a grade, let's say like a B plus, or like it's like 83% good. And then, Chris, who does great handicapping in the movies and in the entertainment segment, which she's great at entertainment, said, no, Frankie says, this is how they get those ratings. They will, let's say they asked 100 people, each person, would you or would you not go to this movie? Do you think this movie is watchable? And you raised your hand and said, yeah. So 83 out of 100%, 83 out of 100 said, yeah, we would go to that movie. But that doesn't mean that like it was an 83 as a grade. You know what I mean? Like maybe 83 out of 100 would go, but it was like, okay. That's why a lot of times you see movies that are skewed, that they got like a 42% rating, are really good. And then you see some like 90s that you say, boy, that sucked. You know what I mean? How did this movie get a 90? And another thing that he showed me on Netflix, I would go on Netflix sometimes, and I'm scrolling through my Netflix, and all of a sudden this movie would say 97%, 94%. So I thought, wow, this movie got a very high rating. And then Chris pointed out, goes, no, Frank, that just means that everything you've been watching on Netflix, this is like 97% in your category for your style. Or, like what you like to view. So you got to be careful when you're, listening to polls, especially when there's how they're graded and with humans. But still, to me, I mean, I don't want to harp on this anymore. But to me, I don't know how a ballot form gets in front of another human being and says Babe Ruth in the Hall of Fame, and 20 of them said no. Really? No.
It's really hard to believe.
I'd say next year you don't get a ballot, my friend. You're either blind or you don't know what you're doing. But getting back to that now, Rick, yesterday you pointed out that you saw a Fifth Street social from Billy Donlin of what he wanted to know what we thought the Pro Bowl total would be. What do you got on that?
Yeah, I was watching you guys yesterday on the stream on YouTube, and I saw the question come up, but I think it was at the end of the show, so it never was actually posed to you guys on here. But I was thinking about that, and the Pro Bowl is such an interesting game because the way it's evolved over the last, 15, 20, 25 years. And it used to be kind of, it was always like an exhibition game, like a fun game, but then maybe in the 10 to 15 years ago, it just exploded into zero defense. And the games were being played like in the 60s and 70s, and it got out of control. Finally, a few years ago, they I don't know if they changed rules or what they did, but they made it so the defense actually tried a little bit, and the scores fell drastically. I think they went to the 30s even. So I kind of expect the total now to be in the 75, 77 range. And I honestly don't know what I do with it. I kind of have to look and see what kind of new rules might be in place this year for the Pro Bowl. Is there a running clock? Are there going to be kickoffs? All these different things, and they seem to always tinker with the rules every year, and it might be a little bit different rule this year than last year, and sometimes those could be really big deals. So I got to look into it before this Sunday's game. But yeah, I know back in the day, going back 10 years or so, it just got. I think there might even be games in the 80s. It was so, and they were all laughing, and no one was playing defense. It was almost like playing 11 on none. It was it wasn't even fun to watch. But if you had the over, you already won your bet at halftime, or you really won it in the first quarter because they'd score 49 points in the first quarter, and you would maybe over 79. So you pretty much knew you had a winning bet.
I know the times you're talking about because the last one of those was, I believe, Brian. Yeah, I believe it was in the 90s, like 93 or 94 was the total. And then Brian said, Frank, look at the rule changes this year. They're allowed to make contact with the receivers. Don't you remember back then? You couldn't even make contact in the secondary, nothing. You know what I mean? So he said, no, this year they're changing it. And Brian said, Frank, we got to ship it on the under. But I was scared because all the years before that, they'd put up a 94, 88.5, 89.5. And like you said, middle of the early third quarter, you were done. You were toast. They would just go up and down the field. So I said, okay. I said, boy, I hope he knows what he's talking about. And sure enough, it wasn't even close. I don't even know if they scored 41, but it was under 93.5. And that's, you're right, the last 3 or 4 years since there's contact is allowed in the secondary, and it's actually like a semi-real game. It's tricky.
Yeah, they actually seem to care.
Yeah.
Some of the defensive players, back in the day, they would laugh. They'd be watching them throwing 80-yard touchdown passes. They'd be laughing with each other and high-fiving each other after, like, wait, I mean, I know this is a fun game, but you still should be giving some effort. You shouldn't be congratulating them when they scored an 80-yard touchdown on you. And it was like all a joke. And it was great if you had the over, but it was such a farce of a game that the NFL just got sick of it and said, okay, we got to do something to make this somewhat of a legitimate game. And they did that. And as you saw, the total, I think, like it was in the 90s and started finishing like the games of the 30s. So, or each team, was scoring like 34-31 or 31-27. So it went under by so many. It's been going under a lot of points. But, they still want to showcase the offense and they want to score a lot of points, but they just don't want to make it to be a farce.
Absolutely, but I would like to know exactly. Like, I know to most, especially if you're in the Pro Bowl, you're probably you're probably got a pretty decent salary. But still, there's got to be a difference between winning, the team that wins, the team that loses, as far as the paycheck for that game. And let's say I don't know what the winners are. You could probably look it up while we're doing it, what the winner and loser gets. But even if it was $15,000 or $20,000 difference, you're a lineman, you're a center, you're one of these guys that's not making multi-millions. I mean, hey, you guys, like 20 grand more just for coming out here. That's got to feel a little bit better when you get home to your wife. Are you looking it up there? What the winning team gets, the losing team gets?
I'm actually trying to look it up right now because okay, here it is. So the players on the winning team get $64,000. The players on the losing team get $32,000.
Look at that. So for 32 grand, I know to a Pro Bowl quarterback or a Pro Bowl running back or wide receiver, that doesn't mean too much, but to a lot of the other guys say, hey, guys, like we're out on the street here. Let's say they played a game for like 32,000, double or nothing. You know what I mean? It means something on top of playing another 32,000. You go home and you buy your daughter a car or something. But right?
And you think about it. And you go back to like the 70s and 80s, and we were watching football intently, and the Pro Bowl was always in Hawaii, and those games were always, back then they probably, I'm just guessing, maybe made $20,000 for the winner and $10,000 for the loser. But back then the salaries were so low, and football players were always paid so much worse than baseball players. It was such a joke that extra $10,000 meant a lot. And you saw by the quality of the game. These games, I believe, back in the 70s and 80s, you'd see games, maybe even in 21-17, you'd see that they actually cared about that extra $10,000 or $15,000.
Yeah.
Nowadays, of course, it's a little bit more, 32,000 more, but the salaries are so much greater that it's such a drop in the bucket. But the NFL wants them to play somewhat of a real game now too.
Yeah, so, I don't care. I don't. To me, I don't care what you say. On top of the feeling of winning and getting the trophy, and that 32,000 can't be a drop in the bucket, in no matter what. But it should mean something. But now this is before your age. But in my age, I remember when Kurt Gowdy and the Wide World of Sports and stuff. Did you know that it was one of the funnest things? They used to have the college all-stars play against the Super Bowl team. So could you imagine how much? Yeah. Could you imagine how much it was every year? You could look forward to it. Now, how fun would it be? Is let's say after a month after the Super Bowl, they had the top 50 college players, all the the top 50 of all, and they got to play against the NFL guys. I mean, how much fun would that be? But the pros just destroyed them. It didn't matter. The pros always destroyed them, but it would be a lot of fun. Just how when these guys say, like, if Alabama could almost beat Buffalo and this and that, so okay, let's get 50 of the top college guys and see what they do. It wouldn't even be close. But
wow, that's really funny. I never knew this. This is a crazy story. Yeah. Okay,
check it out. Kurt Gowdy and Howard Cosell, and it was the college all-stars versus the NFL. Now let's do Rick. There's something that I wanted to touch on because I know in the third segment we're going to break down the entire board for NBA betting and college basketball betting, as many games as we can get to. But before that, there's another prop that Chris sent me, pretty interesting. I see some value on. Will Tiger Woods win a major? That's a prop. The yes is plus 300, the no is minus 400. I know what I like, but I'm going to shoot it to you first. Maybe I'm seeing things or something, but I see monster value in this one.
Okay, well, I'm not much of a golf fan or a golf bettor, but that that line seems almost like 300 to 400 cents too low. Just the little bit of golf I know, I would make no about minus 700, minus 800. Yes should probably be at plus 5, plus 600. I think this is a bet geared knowing that most players are going to want to bet yes, and they're taking a line of plus 300, which is absurd. Plus 300, he's going to win one of the four majors this year is just crazy in my mind, and I have to think you think the same as me.
Absolutely, it is. And not only that, okay, he's going to be another year older. I know he was coming back a little bit. And I've always been a big Tiger fan, but he's coming back now. If you notice, there's 3 or 4 more golfers back on the circuit, not just to Justin Thomas and to Spieth and Jason Day and of course Dustin Johnson and all these guys. There's 3 or 4 more good ones. Now you got your Hadwin. Hadwin's up there. I like that kid. There's a lot more talent. He's another year older. Hasn't even really, except for a couple of little flashes, hasn't even really whiffed in these majors. I'd lay that 4-1 all day long, especially if you get past the first 2. The hedge on it when you're getting 30 or 40-1. Fifth Street Sports, folks, talk you can bet on, back in 3 minutes with all the talk that you want to bet on.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Attention business owners, now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for the business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's Home Advisor. Home Advisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, and even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Home Advisor. Are you wasting hundreds of dollars each year on contact lenses? Would you like to be able to see clearly again without reading glasses? Make the smart choice with IQ Laser Vision. Their team has performed over 150,000 LASIK and smile procedures, and with 11 locations on the West Coast and special out-of-town packages, there is a solution just right for you. See why they have a 5-star rating on Yelp. Check out IQLaserVision.com. That's IQLaserVision.com.
IQ Laser Vision.
All right, folks, it's Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I'm joined with Florida Rick. This is the third segment, which is going to be the segment that we give out the games and the analysis on bets we're making, talk you can bet on. Rick, before we go, because I know this is your sweet spot, buddy. You're the handicapper aficionado on the show. The only thing is, and I don't think I got to worry about it tonight. I follow all your bets. I bet them. But, brother, there's one thing I'm not going to do anymore, brother. You're not having me throw any more money off this Golden Gate Bridge. You and Brian, I mean, I felt like I've dumped all my cash over the Golden Gate Bridge every time you guys fade these Warriors. So with that being said, I don't have to worry about it tonight.
There's no Golden State tonight, but yeah, it's getting a little crazy at this point. There, of course, we knew at some point they're just going to, run on all cylinders. Figured it happened maybe a couple weeks after Cousins came back, but it's kind of happening as soon as he came on the team, and they are just on fire. And there's really nothing anyone's going to be able to do to stop them from here on out. Yeah, they're going to have games where they don't cover, but it's hard to see them losing many games down the rest of the year. They'll probably lose a couple like in the last week or two when they've already clinched the home court. But wow, what a
I'm not doing it no more,
it's
brother.
Unfair. You have 5 all-stars, legitimate all-stars starting on the team, and this has never happened before. And,
no way, brother. I think I'd rather slam my weenie in a car door than bet against these Warriors again. I'm not gonna do it. I'm so okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't blame you. I think I'm going to stay away from Golden State games for now. Either be on Golden State or just stay away for a while, because this is just as soon as you look up every time. Oh, here's Klay Thompson hitting 3. Here's Curry hitting a 3. Here's Durant hitting a 3. And their passing is so precise. You see like 4 or 5 passes that's leading to like wide open dunks or layups or 3-pointers, and it's like how are they going to be stopped now? Because you can't really double team anyone, because you can't leave anyone open on that team. I guess Draymond Green, but even he's going to hit open shots a lot of the time. So it's just really unfair, and hopefully at the end of this year the team kind of breaks up, and at least Durant goes somewhere, because I think everyone's sick of it right now.
It is, brother. Let me tell you something. I mean, I've lived in Vegas, and I don't play it or nothing. Well, it's been 30 years since I played it, but it's almost like walking up to a blackjack table and saying, "Hey, the dealer's got a 19. Would you like to play?" No, I mean, I got to make a 20 or 21. No, I think I'll pass. But anyways, with that being said, Rick, let's get to the money part of the show. Here, I'll start you off with the first game, 5:37. Toronto's at Indiana. Indiana's -6, and it's 217.5.
Okay, this is an interesting spot because Toronto has just come off. They're coming off a 3-game winning streak, all games at home, so they're going on the road for the first time in over a week. They're playing a really tough Indiana team who's top 4 in the Eastern Conference right now as well, and Kawhi Leonard's sitting tonight. So you have Indiana as a 6-point favorite at home, which normally seems like a lot of points, but with Leonard sitting, Raptors starting, playing a first game on the road in over a week, I would lean towards Indiana here. I wouldn't make it a strong play, but I would definitely lean towards Indiana laying 6. I think Toronto will be getting a lot of the public money. A lot of people won't even realize Kawhi Leonard's out, but when you look at that line, you have to know either Leonard or Lowry's out, and it seems like a game that's much more important for Indiana, and I would only want to be on the Pacers, but I'm not giving it out as a play, but I would only play Indiana if you're going to play the game.
Yeah, when we give out these analysis at the end of it, let's give out our official plays. Because you're going to probably have a little bit of an opinion on all these, but we'll give out the ones we're officially playing. All right, here's your next one. You got Cleveland's at Boston. Boston's -15, and the total's 214.5.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how bad this Cleveland team really is. I think it just kind of came to me. I knew how bad they were bad, but if you watched any of that game on Martin Luther King Day against the Bulls, they made the Bulls look like they were playing Golden State or Boston or one of the top teams in the NBA. And meanwhile, the Bulls are just like one notch above them. And this is just how bad Cleveland is. But on the other hand, they're going into Boston. Boston's a 15-point favorite even without Kyrie Irving, which is kind of hard to believe that they could be a 15-point favorite over anybody without him. I would still stay away from the side. I can't recommend. Cleveland is like the anti-Golden State. Just like you don't ever want to be against Golden State right now, you don't really ever want to be on Cleveland. But it's just too many points to lay in the NBA on a favorite. But I do like the under here. I think the under is good value at 214.5. It has moved a 1.5 or so, but I think you're getting a good enough line with Kyrie being out and the Cavs being so hard for them to score. They just have nobody to go to. Colin Sexton is really their go-to guy on the team as a rookie. And while he might be a great NBA player, he still is 19, 20 years old. And he's best known for being the guy who almost single-handedly beat Minnesota last year in that game when the entire team was ejected and a couple players were fouled out and they ended up playing the game 3-on-5. Remember that game last year?
Yeah.
The NCAA? Yeah. And so he came back, he let him back down from down like 16, and they lost, I think, by 3 or 4, playing 3-on-5. And he scored, I think it was like 59 points. And it was the most incredible thing you've ever. As soon as I saw that, I go, this guy is a legitimate NBA star in the making. And sure enough, he was a lottery pick, and he probably will be a great player for years to come. But unfortunately, he's the only guy on that team that you can kind of count on as a scorer. And it just it's a high total as it is. And then you throw in Kyrie Irving's out, and Cleveland being just so inept. I like the under here.
Okay. We like the under there. Okay, here's your next game. Orlando is at the Nets. Orlando's getting 5.5. Nets minus 5.5. 218.5 on this game.
Okay. I don't know if you remember, but last week these same teams played in in Orlando, and I gave out the play as Orlando, and Orlando's a 1.5 point favorite. They were up by 19 in the at halftime, I think. In the second half, they got up by 20. Anyway, so happens they blew the entire lead, and they ended up losing the game. I don't even think it went to overtime. I think they lost by 2 or 3 at the buzzer. So actually, amazing, we lost our bet even though we were up 20 points in a pick'em situation. And tonight there's a rematch in Brooklyn, and even though Brooklyn's been playing incredible basketball, they're won, I think it's like 18 of the last 23. They're in 6th place now in the Eastern Conference, which is still hard to imagine that we're saying this about the Brooklyn/New Jersey Nets, because it's still hard for us to not say New Jersey. But Aaron Gordon's coming back for Orlando. I think Orlando is kind of the guy with vendetta here against this team because of last week. I'm definitely not giving it as a play, but I would only lean towards Orlando. I'd only bet Orlando if I had to, but it wouldn't be an official play. But if you really need action in that game, if you're going to the game, if you're going to watch the game on TV, I would lean to Orlando.
All right, next game. Here we go. The Houston Rockets are at the New York Knicks. It is 8, and the Rockets are minus 8, and it's 226.5.
Okay. Well, here comes the James Harden show on tour in New York City after the debacle the other night in Philadelphia, but it wasn't his fault. I've never seen a one-man show like this in the NBA, and until that Philadelphia game, they keep finding ways to win. And, Philadelphia, I guess, kind of exposed them finally for, made other players do work and get points, and they couldn't do it. But here it comes to New York now. There's an 8-point favorite. We're still without Capella, and Paul, I believe, will be back maybe this weekend. But, both those guys are still out. I like the Knicks here. I like getting 8 at home against a, severely wounded Houston team. Harden's going to have to do it again and score in the 50s if they're going to want to cover this game. And while he's certainly capable of doing that, I still wouldn't bet on it. And I would much rather take the home dog here, getting 8. It'll be a fun night to be at the Garden. It'll be a sold-out crowd, and people will come to see the one time a year Harden comes into town. So I do like the Knicks plus 8. I think this might be worthy of a very small, like half-unit, quarter-unit money line play, plus 300, plus 320 or so. I think the Knicks could be in this game the whole way, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if they won.
All right, here we go. Now here's one, and I actually, I hardly ever pick games or give an opinion in this NBA. Maybe some totals here and there. I actually like this next game, but I want to see what your take is. The Clippers are at the Miami Heat. Miami's minus 5.5 and 216.5.
Okay, I've actually studied this game quite a bit today because I wanted to like a side, but the more I look at it, the more I just can't really find anything I like. The Heat are at home. Gallinari's still out for the Clippers. Heat are full strength, except for Dragic, of course, who's still going to be out another month or so. Clippers haven't been playing well at all. The Heat are always up and down. You can never trust them one way or the other. The total, 216.5, I don't really see anything there. I really don't like anything in this game. If I had to make a bet, you gave me a free bet, I'll take the Clippers plus 5.5, but I definitely don't advise betting on this game. What do you like?
Oh, I see. I do like the Clippers. I know they were playing bad. They were playing poorly. I think one 1 out of the last 7 until they got to Golden State. Until they got to the Spurs on Sunday, and they actually beat the Spurs, which I really liked them Sunday, the way they played in that game. So I think the Clippers might be on the way back. I'm going to take the 5.5 with the Clippers in this one. That's the only game I really like on the board. We got the next one. We got to go a little bit quicker now because we're running out of time.
Sure.
All right, we got Philadelphia's 3.5. Oh, wait a second here. Philadelphia's 3.5 against the Spurs. Totals 225. What do you like there?
Well, from what I saw earlier, and I don't know if anyone's been upgraded or downgraded since, but I know that Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons are both questionable. Butler has a sore wrist, and Simmons is battling the flu. And Embiid played the other night, and he's still going to play tonight with some stiffness in his back. So you put all these together, and Philly's just, even if these guys all play, they're all playing injured. They had that, put together a great performance against Houston, but I would only be on San Antonio here, taking the 3.5 on the road. I think San Antonio can win this game. I think Philly had their top-notch performance their night, so I would lean San Antonio for sure.
That's what I like. Okay, here we go. New Orleans laying 4 to the Detroit Pistons. New Orleans at home, 222.
Okay, we know Anthony Davis is still out. New Orleans played very well that first game without him against Memphis the other day. Tough game here. It's usually that second game when the superstar's out, the teams tend to struggle. Don't love this game, but I would only be on Detroit if I had to.
All right, here we go. Next one. Atlanta is at the Bulls. The Bulls are -1.5, total 223.5.
Okay. Two bad teams. It's usually is a game that one team doesn't show up. I would just lean towards the home team here. Nothing big, but I would very slightly lean towards the Bulls at home. Probably pick -15 or so if you can get them. Maybe if you can pick them.
All right, here's your next one. We got the Charlotte Hornets are at Memphis. Memphis is at home, laying 1.5, total 208.5.
Okay, I definitely like Memphis in this game. I think Memphis had that bad performance against New Orleans the other night, but they're a little banged up, so that kind of even they're in the same situation with Philly. They may Conley, Gasol, these guys may play, but if they're going to play, they play injured. So I would lean to Memphis, but not any kind of strong play.
All right, and then the last game of the night, and then we're going to recap what you like. Denver is at Utah. Utah's laying 4, and the total's 216.5. We got about 40 seconds, Rick.
That's perfect. All right, well, two of the top teams in the West, aside from Golden State. This is a really big game for Utah. They're as we've talked about for probably a month or two now, they're on their way to being either the 3 or 4 seed in the West, possibly even the 2. And I think Utah is gonna put on a really strong performance at home tonight against Denver. So I like Utah a lot, laying the 4 here, and that's one of my stronger plays.
Okay, so Rick, we're going to hear the music. When we come back, let's recap our official plays that we're releasing on the NBA, and then we'll go really quickly through our college board. Folks, it's Fifth Street Sports. Got to take a timeout. Back in 3 minutes. Don't miss the last part. That's going to be the money spot.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631. Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
All right, folks, Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We're coming down to the end of the show where we're going to give our official releases out. So, Rick, officially for the Fifth Street Sports documentation, what's our NBA that we're actually betting and releasing, and then we'll get really quickly to some college plays from you and Brian.
Okay. 4 NBA plays are Boston under 214.5, Spurs plus 3.5, Knicks plus 8, and Utah minus 4.
All right, there we go, folks. Now, Brian, I know Brian's been messaging us and talking to us because he's teaching now and wanted to release a play or two in college. And if you have any, we got about a minute and a half.
Yeah, a couple plays that I'm getting out in college, and I like these all. First is game 804, Tennessee getting 8.5 at home from 804 Vanderbilt getting 8.5 at home from Tennessee. You know, the rivalry game. Just a ton of points to be getting at home, and I realize Tennessee's number 1 in the country, but that'll make the game bigger for Vanderbilt. So 804 Vanderbilt plus 8.5, and also we have the game that Oklahoma Brian I believe is going to, and he's going to be betting as well, is game 826 Oklahoma State plus 2.5 in their Bedlam game against Oklahoma. Always one of the loudest games of the year, especially when it's at Oklahoma State. Crazy atmosphere. They're actually getting 2.5 here. Oklahoma's a slightly better team, but I think the home team getting 2.5 in this game is a bargain. And the other game that I'm giving out tonight is game 828, Illinois plus 4 at home against Wisconsin. Wisconsin just had that big win over the weekend against the previously undefeated Michigan. I think the public is overvaluing Wisconsin right now. Illinois isn't that great of a team, but getting 4 at home in a big game against a very overrated Wisconsin team, I think, is a bargain as well. So 828 was Illinois plus 4.
All right, folks, there you heard it from Rick. Let's go really quickly. Boston Celtics under 214.5. Spurs plus 3.5. Knicks plus 8. Utah minus 4. Oklahoma State plus 2.5. Vanderbilt plus 8.5. And Illinois plus 4. We got 7 plays tonight, Rick. Thank you. Great show, buddy. We appreciate you, folks. Fifth Street Sports, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day. Good luck tonight. We're going to be all over these things, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m.